Hi guys, welcome back to the workshop, and as you've probably seen by the thumbnail, we've got yet another new project. This I've known about for a little while, and cutting long story short, the chap who bought it, I'm not going to say got scared of it, but he realised that his love for helicopters should possibly stay in the past, if that's the best way of describing it. He kind of set it up, had a quick fly of it, wasn't happy with it, and went to sell it on. Now, he paid a good price for it. I believe I paid the same good price to him for it. But to say that I paid less than a complete Raptor 50 ready to fly for this would give you an idea as to how much I paid. Now, this is Raptor 50 mechanics. It is, I believe, the Funkey Augusta A119 Koala. But either way, irrespective of what helicopter it actually is, I think it's really nice and will become a nice sport scale helicopter. Now, what I'm going to do is, to save you all the hassle, I'm going to bring you in closer. I'm going to go over what I've seen already and then show you what we got in the deal. Okay, so as I said, this is Raptor 50 mechanics. The chap I bought it from said that he ran the engine, he did a quick test hover with it. Other than that, he hasn't done anything to it really. So from my point of view, it's going to need basically a full going over, probably even a strip down on the mechanics to take them out of the fuselage, possibly fly them first to make sure everything's fine, and then rebuild them back into the mechanics, back into the fuselage, sorry. Everything for a second-hand model is really good condition. I mean, there's daft little things like some paint work and a bit of fiberglass damage here, but that's a weak point anyway. What I might do is just gently cut that bit out so it just follows the contour of this edge here, just so it looks a bit neater. There's a few little things that are broken, but I mean, when you get things like this is actually intact, but this step down here is broken. And this handhold here is broken and loose, but again, a little bit of epoxy to hold things back on is going to be fine. This tailplane has come off at some point, but it's still sound. Something else I noticed on a quick inspection, so this isn't the tail gearbox moving as such, but the whole thing's moving in the fuselage. Now, from memory, there should be like a packing piece in here to hold the tail boom tight. I suspect that's not in there, but until I take all this off to have a look, I don't know. It's got a quick UK head, metal head. It has got a bent flybar, but could possibly be used as is. It's not that bent, but I've got a friendly parts supplier who can probably get a new one from. I believe it's got a Raptor 50 Hyper in it. It's got some cockpit detail. Again, I don't know how well you'll be able to see, but there's two pilots in there. There's even a map. And I came around here and I was wondering, what the hell is this down here? It looks like can you see that brown bit there? I thought that was like Action Man's leg. No, if you actually look more closely, it's actually an AK-47. So that's going to stay in there just for shits and giggles. There is a full cockpit. There's even binoculars on the cockpit there. So yeah, it's all quite detailed. Little things that I have noticed, there is a 611 fitted, header tank. What else? Oh yeah, so this is, I believe, an early one, or the mechanics are early, or somebody didn't know what they were doing when they put it together. It hasn't got a driven tail. So the gear that's in there has got the one-way bearing on the wrong gear, so that's going to be changed out. I always need to check that it's got the right gear ratio in there. It should be a 65 tooth main gear. I'm wondering if these mechanics were originally 30 mechanics, because the 30 didn't initially have the driven tail. So yeah, it's going to need a good going over, which isn't the end of the world. It's actually going to be a good project, I think. I also got these that I'll come back to in a minute, those that I'll come back to in a minute, and that bag down there which we'll go through. And I'll do that with a camera on my head so you can see what I'm doing and what I'm seeing. So what we actually got in the deal was this set of blades, which I think are aligned blades, and this set of 3D blades as they're calling them. These are the white, black and yellow ones. They're not really going to be suited to this helicopter. I'm nearly going to say aeroplane, but they're not going to be suited. It just won't look right. But as we've got a few other 600 size helicopters, we can use them. Now what I have got are these. Now these are silver, 600, and I think that'll look quite good as a scale blade. Still fly the same as any other Raptor, but I think it just look better in silver, so I'm probably going to use them. They were actually, I believe, going to be thrown out as scrap, but they're perfectly good. Same with that pair there. Again, they're labelled as 605s, but they're 600 size blades. They'll be fine for just tootling around. This set will probably go on to the T-Rex 600 that we've got, flybarless, which should be getting up and running soon. Again, I'll film that when we come to do it. And again, these will just be kept for as and when we need a set of blades. So yeah, that's an initial overview. It's a nice looking helicopter. It'd be nice if the doors were operating, but they're not, they're fixed. I don't even know if it'd be worth, well, certainly not for me, but it'd be nice if they were opening. And I think if you had a more scale fuselage, you'd have to have them opening. But yeah, it's all going to be good. It'd be a nice helicopter when it's flying. So what I'll do is I'll change cameras and then I'll go through this bag down here of all the spares that we got. Okay then, so main helicopter itself, as I said, I've got that set of blades, and this set of blades came with a helicopter, and I had these previously. These are the ones that I think I'm going to use, but time will tell. So in the bag of spares, I've already been through it quickly, just see what's there. I don't know how well you'll be able to see, but these are two, well, probably now vintage or retro Futaba 154 gyros. I did power them up, and the actual sensor unit, whatever you want to call them, they spun up, so there's no reason why they shouldn't work. These will probably go on eBay because I've got no use for them whatsoever, but somebody might well want them. So I don't know, even if I got a tenner for the pair, that would be ideal. First out of the box, so again, I don't know what spares came or what they used with what helicopters. That is definitely a Mark 1 or a V1 fuselage canopy. So this could be a V150, and they've got a V250 canopy. Not much use to me, but that clip, I've had them break quite a lot. And it might clean up alright if I take all the stickers off and use it as a spare canopy. So if I'm playing around with this as a pod and boom, I could just stick it on there. That, I don't know why somebody stuck that on there, they also don't know what that's for. That is the tracking sticker to go on the wooden blades that you get. Normally you get a red and a black one, so you know which blade's which. So I might well strip the stickers off that and just use that as a clean-ish canopy for flying it as a pod and boom. But again, they came with them. Right, let's lift it up here. So, again, always useful, blade caddy. Not necessarily with this one, because I'll probably take the blades off to transport this one and just mark the blade as to which one goes on which side. Set of side frames, which are totally bare. There's no screws or anything in them. I don't know of anybody that has broken a set of side frames. They've stripped the threads out of the bottom here previously, but I've never known anybody break a set of them. But anyway, they came with it. Big pieces. Now, again, I did have a quick bit of a sort through here. What we've got here, and they there are Raptor 6090, which I happen to have one over there. These are the 30 and 50 size ones. So I'll also use a set of these for the pod and boom version. I've also need to replace on the 30 a set of these. That one, I don't know what's happened to that one, but it looks like it's been burnt or something, or painted maybe, but it'll probably go in the bin. But anyway, got those. We've got a set of what I believe are the 50 tail boom supports given on their length, and we've got a set of the possibly 30 tail boom supports, a spare tail boom support off something, but I don't know what it is, and a tail push rod kit, or tail push rod. So that's them. Now the one thing I did find in here, again I don't know how well you'll be able to see on camera, tail bevel gears for a Raptor 60. These are like rocking horse poo. A friend of mine who's got the helicopter parts business, he said they'll easily go for 25 quid on eBay just for them, but I'm not going to sell them because they are like rocking horse poo. So as I have got a 90 over there, I'll keep them for that. This here, again I'm not going to take them fully out, but we've got a brand new set ish, I say brand new, they have been used, but a good condition set of skid pipes for a 30-50, one mast, and I know there's more masts in here because I've seen them already. Now fuel tank, this is a version 1 fuel tank because it's narrower, and if you don't know, with the Raptors they wear here, they vibrate and they pierce, they puncture through. This one looks as though it might have gone through already, so that's probably scrap. We certainly need a good clean out if we're going to use it, but that's probably scrap. But I said it's narrow, so it's a version 1. I'll go through this quite quickly. Engine mount, which is a genuine Thunder Tiger one. Tail roller, belt roller pulleys, stock tail blades. Looks as though they've been well used, but again they don't appear to be damaged. What's it got written on there? Raptor 90. So it was a Raptor Raptor 90 that this person had. Tail slider. Again, that's used. Well, there's another one there as well. Don't really need any explanation what these are, but again, always handy if you come down heavy with a landing. Pitch trays, servo mounts. I saw another one in there somewhere. I'll get to that in a minute. Starter shaft. .30 main grips. That could be handy because I know I've got a cracked one. Plastic cooling fan and clutch. Again, clutches are handy. Clutch bell assembly and some paddles. Plastic head with some mixing arms with the pins that are bent. I'm just going to try and go through parts that we've got here. So a brand new pitch slider for a 30, clutch liner and some bearings. I mean, I don't know when these were bought. I don't know which bearings they're for, but they're £4.49 from somewhere for 2 bearings. What else we've got here? Link balls, pack of balls, £8.75 from Midland Helicopters, 4.8mm. A set of links for something, but again, always useful. Some links in there. I'll take them out of the bag because we don't need the whole big bag. Not sure what they're going to be for. Right, 60-degree dampers, so they're the blue ones. I seem to remember it was the red ones that are the hardest ones. Flybar arms. swash plate, metal swash plate, well, half metal swash plate. I can't remember if that was stock. I'll have to have a look at my 50 to see what was on there. A bag of bits. I'm just going to go through these and see what we find. Tailplane, I know there's a few of those in here. Plastic tailplane, some more mixing arms. Again, fins. So, I don't know if you can see there the difference. This is the latter one that's got the strengthening piece in it. Because they used to have a vibration on them. In fact, I'm going to tell a lie. That might not even be Raptor, because that's different hole pitches, different shape. But I did think the latter ones had strengthening pieces in them. Anyway, probably won't use them. That's a Raptor 6090 that's been modified. Obviously somebody was liking hitting the ground with it, so that'll probably go in the bin. Mast, again, don't know how straight these are. Prop driver for something. So that might have come with the engine, or an engine. A link for the 30. Another tail fin. I'm going to have to have a look at them to see if that's what we've got fitted on any of those, to see which ones which, match them up. Tow rotor grips for a 60, skid pipe, end piece, tail belt, again not quite sure which one it's for, some random screws. So now we've got one of the things I mentioned earlier. So for anybody that doesn't know, this setup, so this is your main drive gear, and this is your drive gear to the tail. Engine drives this gear, so when the engine's driving, tail's driven, and then the mast is turning as well, so it's actually turning that way, it's mounted that way up, engine turns it that way. But as soon as the engine stops, this gear stops, which means the mast can still keep on turning, because the tail drive is fixed to this gear. A mod, or the upgrade, will also go to this, where the one-way bearing is actually between the drive gear and the mast and the tail drive. So the tail drive is actually bolted to the mast. So when you're doing an auto, the tail's driven. And also this is a 85 tooth, so that's a 50. Is that right? I think so, I'd have to check again. But either way, I've got to change this out, because that's in there is actually that type, not this type. Servo tray, another solid mast. I'm just taking out bits and pieces here. 2 random screws, which I'm not sure what they're for. I'll try and get rid of all the excess plastic bags as well. Another plastic head. Again, can't tell if it's new or not, but plastic head. A single fly bar paddle. Some random screws, again, not sure what they're for, but there's all sorts of things in the bottom of this bag. Tail push rod. No, rudder push rod. Mix some arms and some links. Blade shims, which are always handy. More blade shims. Another head and some more mixing arms. This guy must have gone through head something chronic. That is not Raptor. If anyone can tell me what that's off, brilliant. I'm sure somebody will be able to. Some more paddles. Clutch used with a starter coupling. Frame mounts, frame pieces, pitch tray, Raptor 30 links, but it looks like they've been used. That annoys me when people put used things back in packets to make them look new. That looks new. It's an R60 Raptor 60 tail rotor hub. Handy. Another single paddle that can probably go in the bin. Another pitch tray with arms and links. There's a pinion there of some sort. I wonder what that's been painted for. Some random screws, another engine mount, boom push rod there, probably going to bin because I don't use them, another swash plate, another belt. That's probably all the pieces to make a frame set. More pieces to make a frame set, another push rod, some more links, some tail blades, which I'm sure that said Raptor 30. Belt pulleys, all sorts of shims. You get the idea, there's lots of crap in here, but all stuff that's useful, certainly if we're rebuilding a helicopter. Clutch and fan unit. That one doesn't look used. Clutch bell, very much used but possibly still good. The starter shaft, and all the bearings feel good. Clutch liner, bag of arms, Raptor 3050 mixing arm, another head, empty bags galore. So you get it, I mean there's even a back plate of an engine there. That is a standard swash plate. So you get the general idea, there's lots of spares in here. Another two sets of blades. Sorry, another pair of blades. Another mast. I reckon whoever had this liked crashing. Or did crash a lot. Screws. Always useful because you never know when you're going to rebuild something. Flybar links. Some bearings, and they'll be for the head. Dampers. There's quite a lot of stuff in here really. So these I would try not to use because they can actually twist on the tail boom and jam up the tail. I think that one might be for the bin. What do you reckon? That's taken a good whack, that has. So yeah, lots of stuff in here, and it'll probably all go put straight back in here for just now, until I can find a box to put it in. So as you can see, we've got a fair few parts with this, a lot of usable stuff, probably a fair bit of stuff that I won't use straight away, but it's always going to be handy to have. I suspect most of it will be put into a Raptor spares box, because I've actually now going to have to think how many Raptors we've got. At least half a dozen, and I think I've got another half one up there, which I might see if I can't make that into another flying machine. Maybe even have it as a, I don't know what I'm going to do, but yeah, I'd like the idea of putting something together from spares. So yeah, good load of spares, usable stuff, a project that's going to come together at some point. It's probably not going to happen just yet, because I've got a lot of other things that I want to get worked on. But this was too good a deal to miss. I've probably got another deal that I'll be picking up soon as well, which is going to be very much a long-term project, but it's something I've wanted for a long time. But we have got the T-Rex 600 flybarless, which we'll be setting up sooner or later. I've had a change of heart with that. I did have the Beast X Spectrum AR 7200 receiver for that. Couldn't get to grips with the programming, so I'm now going V-bar with it. But I've got to pick up the V-bar unit to go in there and then get it all set up, etc. And that should be another helicopter ready to go. Got to do a little bit of work with Ewan's helicopter because the exhaust had a problem with it last time. So yeah, there's lots of things happening, but a lot of what you might see now is going to be helicopter related. I am still doing wooden stuff, fixed wing. I don't know how well you'll be able to see, but there's some stuff over there. Glassing going on, but there's only so much workspace I've got in here just now. And yeah, I know I could tidy the place up and create more space. But yeah, this wasn't bad for a Sunday morning sort out. I know I've got to figure out where it's all going to live. This is a lot bigger than what I thought it was going to be for a 50 size helicopter. But yeah, it's going to be good. So if you want to see how this progresses, maybe hit the subscribe button. If you're liking this sort of content, give us a thumbs up. If you're liking the camera on the head, looking through stuff, let me know. If you don't like it, let me know. Just try and experiment doing different things with filming. But yeah, from me in the workshop, until next time, I'll catch you later.